Whether searching for a baseball autographed by your favorite World Series slugger, a signed football by an iconic Hall of Famer, or the jersey of a world-famous soccer star, you've come to the right place. Here at SportsMemorabilia.com, the web's leading source of authentic sports memorabilia, you'll find more than 500,000 authentic products from nearly every professional sports league, team, and players. Not only will you find your next prized sports possession with ease thanks to superb customer service and tremendous site experience, you'll have the satisfaction and peace of mind that every product listed comes complete with a certificate of authenticity and is fully backed by the SportsMemorabilia.com lifetime authenticity guarantee. Go to SportsMemorabilia.com by using the QR code on your screen right now. SportsMemorabilia.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Podcast Network, Cleveland's digital leader.
Fanatics isn't just our name, it's who we are. Loyal, passionate fans dedicated to our favorite teams and to the sports we love. That's why we're honored to be able to offer fans the world's largest collection of official sports apparel and sports jerseys from all the leagues, teams, and players you love. We feature a wide selection of gear from every league, including NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL, and NCAA merchandise, which allows us to serve fans of football, baseball, hockey, basketball, lacrosse, soccer, golf, and everything else that gets your heart pumping. Go to Fanatics.com by using the QR code on your screen right now to celebrate your teams.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, everyone gather around. It is time for a Friday, yes, a Friday edition of Inside Edge Primetime here on the Inside Edge Network. Chad, Bryan over there to my right, which is your right. And I'm Eli Moon, and I'm bringing the mic a little closer because we have some serious things to talk about tonight. This is the Inside Edge Network. This is Inside Edge Primetime. Thank you so much for tuning in and, again, choosing us as Cleveland's digital leader, your source of sports, entertainment, mental health, and everything in between, news, all that great stuff. Just a lot of great stuff and something for everybody, and that's a great thing. So make sure you give us a like, subscribe, follow, all that great stuff at Inside Edge Net. Again, you see the handle there at the bottom, Inside Edge Net on YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Of course, we're on Twitch as well. So great stuff there. And always make sure you check out the website, InsideEdgeNetwork.com. The QR code, Chad has it above his head. It takes you to the partners page. And there it is, pal. That's what I'm talking about. And of course, you'll see we've heard from Fanatics.com, our great sponsors, Fanatics.com, and then SportsMemorabilia.com. You have AlleyRoseFragrances.com, Mosser Moments, and W Energy. You'll hear from all of them throughout the show. We appreciate our partners, and we appreciate you for tuning on in and choosing us here on your Friday evening. We know the weather's getting a little nicer, so the fact that you're rocking with us, wherever you may be, we appreciate you. Chad, we got a lot to talk about. Friday, last time we did a Friday show, I think it was January or February. We are dusted off the Friday clothes, and we got the Friday clothes on. And how you feeling?
Not bad. I was gonna say the temperature probably wasn't much different, but I guess it was. It's probably like 20 below.
A little bit. Yeah.
It's rain. It's been raining all day. Kind of all evening, whatever. I keep hoping we're gonna get a break from the rain because I would really like to mow the parts of my yard that I haven't been able to touch yet.
What does that mean? Like, what exactly haven't you mowed in your yard?
Well, okay, so this is all right. I'm gonna break this down. Just cue the sad music. All right. No, the part right. We have kind of a most of our property is wooded. So between our house and the road, there's a lot of trees. Right. Don't have to worry about that. But the part between the house and the trees, I can't mow. It's too wet. It's too soft. It doesn't get sun very much of the day. It kind of gets a quick, it's under the canopy of trees or whatever. So it gets a quick peak of sun. But unless it warms up and stops raining every day, it's not going to dry out. I got the lawnmower stuck there last week or this past week or whatever. I had to literally by hand pull it out of there. That wasn't too much fun. And then we have a little ditch kind of in the front, by the road on the other side of the trees and in between the road that is also too wet to mow. So I've been able to mow every other part of my yard twice, but I can't get to those two areas yet. Like I said, I tried to venture out a little bit further around the corner over there, and I got the lawnmower stuck. I had to pull it out by hand. It's frustrating, man. It's weird when you watch all the people that live around you on all the other streets mowing their grass, and you're like, I can't even get to mine. But I don't know. Again, that's a dad, old guy thing, I guess. So
now,
inner responsibility to keep up with our grass. So,
I'll ask you this too. I'm curious because we live in different cities, right? For anybody just wondering, we don't live in the same city. How is the city with like the grass thing? Like, are they tough on you? Because we've got a note one time. The grass may have been just a hair over, like, okay, time to cut it. Yeah. And we got a warning here, and I mean, it appalled me. It was a few years ago. I mean, I was appalled. And we just haven't let it get that close since. Also, we don't like to destroy the mower, which I'm sure is a fear of yours right now, because as the grass gets longer, it's a pain in the what to cut. Yeah. And then it's, so we're uphill. And I promise everybody, we'll get into sports in a second. But we're uphill.
Both ways in the snow, right? Uphill both ways in the snow, barefoot, right?
So we have a corner house.
Okay.
So we have a corner house, and it's such a pain in the ass, bro. I like come in to the house afterwards, and I'm like pouring sweat, and it's basically like I just ran a marathon, bro. And it's, my goodness. So how is the city with like your grass? Are they strict on you?
No, we live out in the country. Nobody even cares. I'm sure my one neighbor cares. He really loves to mow his grass, and I do. Sometimes I feel like it's pressure to keep up with him, right? Yeah. So we always like, he's retired, whatever. He's got nothing but time. So sometimes he mows, 2, if it gets wild, 3 times a week. And I'm a once a week guy. I'm not going to go out there 2 or 3. I'm not going to go Monday, Wednesday, Friday mowing the grass. I'm not doing that. Yeah. So it's once a week. I got kids, whatever. They want to go out there and play. So I'm not going to mow the grass the other day. But nobody really says anything. I mean, nobody would. I mean, I guess, who knows? Maybe somebody would put a note or something on it. But no, it's never come to that point. But like this time of year, I do worry about that because I just can't get to certain parts of it. I'm gonna have to get the weed whacker out and go. And listen, we have like 2 acres, man. So I mean, it's not, I have a riding lawnmower. I have to have a riding lawnmower. It would take forever. We used to mow with the push mower when we first moved in, but it literally took like 3 or 4 hours. So I had to get a riding lawnmower, man. Not a 0 turn. I'm not that cool, but yeah,
How many turns is it?
It's just a couple of turns. Yeah, not that. If it was just a straight strip, that'd be nice, right? The 0 turn. That's funny. No, I don't know. I just it stresses me out, man. I feel like I can walk outside and hear my grass growing. You know what I mean?
Dude, I understand. I walked out. So I talked the other day. I walked out. It was my turn to cut the grass because I have we share with the neighbors upstairs. So we trade off, and we really appreciate that. And it's good teamwork. So I cut it like every 2 to 3 weeks, right? And then so I got a little bit of a break. So I go out there and it's like lock in zone. Right. I remember walking like the day before, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I got to cut this grass. And then it rained. And then I couldn't do it for another 2 days. And then, so I understand your pain, pal. I understand your pain. I'm sure a lot of people out there are experiencing your pain, especially here in Ohio, because as May comes along, and it's here, it May brings a lot of rain and random stuff. Papa Moon, it's his birthday today. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. But Papa Moon, he told me earlier today that it snowed one time on his birthday.
Oh, man. All the way in May. All right.
Yeah. So that's where we're at, pal.
Yeah.
That's where we're at. So,
at least all right. It's not snowing, right? We'll take it.
Yes. Absolutely. All right, Chad. Let's get into some sports.
Have a great week.
Let's get into some sports for all the people at home that are obviously tuned in, not only just to enjoy our humor at times, but get into some sports stuff. And you sent me a very cool article, I thought, from Bleacher Report. And I thought it was really cool. It was kind of like gauging, it was gauging the NFL excitement meter for like teams. I'm going to hand the baton off to you because you're the one who sent this to me. I did get a chance to read it, and I thought there were some funny notables, but kind of tell the people what you were seeing earlier this morning that you sent me over.
Yeah, I mean, it's from Bleacher Reports. Brad, I'm not sure how to say his last, if it's Gagnon, could be French. I don't know. Maybe I churched it up a little too much. I don't know. I didn't want to disrespect him, but I do not know how to pronounce his last name, so I apologize for that. Gagnon. You can look him up on Bleacher Report. I'm sure he's much better at writing than I am at saying his name. So Yeah, it's just kind of, it's the excitement meter for each team, and they go through the divisions or whatever, and it kind of tells you like, hey, man, if you're a fan of this team, should you be excited? Should you not be? Should you feel like a Browns fan? Should you feel like, a Raiders fan? You got the number 1 pick overall. That's fun, right? You added some stuff. I just thought it was funny. I don't know. The Jets, we got Geno Smith coming in there, and it even says on here, Geno Smith doesn't move the needle, and that's true. So the Jets are at 3. Like, think about the Patriots just went to the Super Bowl. They're 9, right?
Yeah.
That's fun. The AFC North was mostly meh. We can. Do you want to kind of break them down first, or wait to do that last?
I think let's save them. Let's save them for last.
Let's save that. It's boring, so we'll get to that later.
Okay, yeah. Meanwhile, we were Cleveland's digital leader representing the Cleveland Browns. All right, go ahead, Chad. Go ahead.
There's nothing to, the AFC South here. The Jaguars are at 9. That's cool. I mean, the Jaguars made some big strides, right? At our behest, like we thought we were going to get a really good pick from the Jaguars. We thought they'd go, 5-12. I don't know, maybe 6-11 at best, but they didn't do that, man. They won 8 straight to conclude the season. That's crazy. But yeah, so the Jaguars kind of, whatever, bounded up with that 24th pick, and we thought it was going to be another top 10 pick. So they're 9. I mean, listen, if you're down in Duval, be excited, right? You got to.
I want to, and I want to take time here real quick on the Jaguars. While we're dissecting, this is just for anybody out there tuning in. It's kind of like our primer before the primer of the NFL season. We're just kind of getting a feel for some of these teams. Do you think it's interesting, or I guess, like, is it a problem is more so my question, that Travis Hunter is only going to be playing cornerback now for the Jaguars? Or do you think that's a benefit for them, that he can focus on one side of the ball? Because the big allure, right, the big love for him being the number 2 pick, the reason the Browns were able to get a haul for that number 2 overall pick last year was because he was going to play receiver and cornerback. Obviously, he missed a good chunk of the year last year with an injury. So the Jaguars are trying to protect one of their strongest assets in the organization in their eyes. Do you think it's going to be more of a benefit playing just corner, or do you think you kind of just took away like 2 of the wheels of the car?
That's an interesting question. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's like you can look at it both ways. You can look. Listen, in the NFL, it's hard to specialize in the NFL, but it's really hard to play both sides of the ball, right? If you're concentrating on one position, I think that could be a benefit in the long run. I think for the excitement factor, it maybe like dampens it a little bit. It's like, okay, well, you used the 2nd pick in the draft on a guy who was supposed to be this dynamic and play on both sides of the ball, and now he's just going to be a corner. I mean, was he worth it as the number 2 pick at corner? Probably not. Is it going to be beneficial to him and the team for him to concentrate on one position? Probably. But does that mean he ever really returns that investment on being the number 2 pick overall? Probably not. So yeah, I mean, it's an interesting question. I mean, it helps in the long run. It's, kind of, like I said, dampens the excitement in the short term. And I don't know, I guess maybe, like I said, you don't really have a chance at really returning that investment for being the number 2 overall pick as a corner, unless he is, I mean, the best corner we've seen since, I don't even know. I mean, I don't even know where to put him to make that actually worth the pick. But
maybe his former coach Deion Sanders.
Yeah, it ran through my head for a second. I didn't want to compare him. It did run through my head for a second though. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think where do you think his best usage is? I always thought he was a little slight to be a receiver, to be like an impact receiver, but he's so quick. He's got such short bursts, whatever. I thought maybe it could be explosive and kind of a problem in the short game. But I mean, where do you see him as being best overall, corner or receiver?
So I'm glad you asked me that, because I was actually just about to ask you, if like this doesn't work out at corner, do they just try a receiver then? Like, okay, hey, this didn't work out like the way, maybe you're a better receiver, because I truly think he's better at receiver than he was corner.
Okay.
I think he was more electric. I think that was, I mean, don't get me wrong, he's a good corner, but he's very undersized for being a corner. And I get he's undersized for being a receiver, to your point, but I think you can get away with being a little bit undersized at receiver if you have the intangibles. You can catch the football, first off, number 1. If you can run fast, and he has the speed, if you can run sharp routes, which he can, he makes all the sense in the world as a receiver. He just doesn't have the height and measurements of like a guy like Denzel Boston. The Browns just went out and grabbed him to draft, in the 2nd round. I think he's better suited as a receiver. So in my opinion, I think the Jaguars are choosing the wrong position to put him at.
Okay.
And I'm curious to see, I'm curious to see if they go, this year it doesn't work out, which I'm not rooting it doesn't. Obviously, at the end of the day, I want to see Travis Hunter succeed. I think he's a lot of fun to watch play football.
Seems like a great kid, man. I don't know. I mean, I don't know him personally, but he seems like a great kid. And I think, obviously we want him to stay healthy, but I do think the Jaguars will have to evaluate it. And it's like, now you're playing with
a dangerous game, because if it doesn't work out a corner, what are you going to do? Just keep, running your head into the wall and try to figure out that it's, that's got to work, or are you going to try to pivot the receiver? Because then we start walking into tricky territory, treacherous water, as some would say. So
that sounds dangerous. Yeah.
Yeah. So that would be my thought on the Jaguars, Chad. I'm curious to know what you would think, and then I'm curious to I'm curious to hear what you would what your thoughts are on this, though. And then let's move on. We got some other NFL teams to get to as well.
Yeah, I'm curious what my thoughts are as well. Let's hear.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Oh, it's me. No, I think it's sometimes it's a little easier to be undersized when you know where you're going, right? Like to your point, playing receiver, right? Running routes when you know where you're headed. It's a little bit harder to stop a guy. I mean, you would think he would be, man, all of a sudden now I'm looking at his size and it's like, do they put him, is he a nickel corner, right? And then he's really not worth the second overall pick. I mean, I even if he shuts down whatever, that's still, it's still reaching for the number 2 overall pick. So, man, I don't know. Like I said, I want him to succeed. I want him to do well. Maybe he is better. Maybe he is better off at wide receiver now that I think about it. So maybe they are making the wrong move here, but maybe they're playing their hand carefully. And it's like, hey, we don't want to put him in his best position first. Let's see if we can get something out of corner. And if not, then he's got this default. He can be receiver. But if he doesn't work out at receiver, then what? Because now you've got an undersized corner. It's like, right? I don't know. It's interesting. I think it'll be interesting to keep our eye on it and kind of see how it progresses and where he ends up and where his career goes. If he ends up going back to trying to play both sides of the ball at a limited, who knows? I mean, I don't know. It's a really interesting case right now, though.
Yeah, I hope it wouldn't be the case where they're, for his sake, because like I said, I root for Travis Hunter, the player. I think he's like you said, I think he's a tremendous human being too. You could just tell he's got a lot of positivity and light, that shines off of him. I just think you could be running into a situation where this is one of those talks of, is Travis Hunter on the move a year or two from now because it's not working out a corner, and then it becomes a reclamation project. And that's, to your point, not what you expect out of the number 2 pick that was supposed to be both sides of the ball and dominate at both. So
nothing personal against it. I just at that point it becomes not worth using that number 2 pick. You know what I mean?
At that point, the Browns won the trade. Sorry to interrupt you, but at that point, the Browns won the trade.
Yeah, of course.
We don't win very often, but we won that trade.
No, and I guess you would have to see how Casey Concepcion plays out and whatever, because he was the Jaguars pick. So I don't know. We'd have to see how that plays out. But yeah, that's a lot to keep our eye on.
Yeah, sure is, pal. What else you got for us in the NFL? I know you're taking a nice sip of agua there. What else you got for the NFL?
You can tell that you used to. Were you a server at some point? You caught me mid-drink there on the question. Did you guys need any?
No. So they used to just, I worked at a pizza shop. I won't throw out the name out here. But I worked at a pizza shop. I did real well for a minute. I worked my way up. I was a dishwasher. Then I got to prep. I started doing prep, like making the pizzas, all that fun jazz, throwing them in. Yeah. But one day they said, all right, Eli, we're going to bring you to the front. You're going to pull the pizzas out of the oven and you're going to box them. And I started doing all right. I was a little nervous, dangerous, hot, could hurt myself. And I did hurt myself. I put my hand on the oven where it was coming, the pizza was coming out, and I got a nice blister, and they said, oh my goodness, are you okay? I said, yeah. They said, okay, as long as you're good, you're going to go back to dish. And I had to work my way back from the bottom.
There you go. Yeah, you burn yourself. You got to go back to the bottom. That's what Travis Hunter's going through right now. He burned himself a little bit trying to play both sides of the ball. He's going back to the bottom. So I thought the AFC West was interesting. They got the Broncos and the Raiders, 2 teams on completely opposite ends of the spectrum, right? The Broncos almost went to the Super Bowl last year. The Raiders did not. They're both a 9. You're excited if you're a fan of both of those teams. And the Raiders have some, they got Fernando Mendoza in there. They've got some things. You got Clint Kubiak coming in there, and he's gonna, rejuvenate the offense. And Max Crosby was gone for a minute, but now he's back. So that could be weird, but whatever. So if you're a Raiders fan, you're pretty excited. But the Chiefs, you would think like, okay, the Chiefs, they added some players, right? They did some things. They gave the Chiefs a 2, so the excitement meter is a 2 for the Chiefs. And I guess we feel like we're at the end of Patrick Mahomes. That his prime is he's starting to slide down the other side of the hill maybe a little bit. Maybe the end of a dynasty. Travis Kelce isn't quite as maybe doesn't look as engaged. No pun intended. He's swiftly declining. No pun intended. I just think that it's Kelce didn't have a great year last year, right? And Mahomes was injured and things went bad and didn't really have much going on. I don't know. I mean, a 2 was, I thought, a little harsh. I think the Chiefs are going to bounce back a little better than that. I think if you're a Chiefs fan, you got a little bit of something to be excited about this season, but a 2, you think that's rough?
Yeah, it's absolutely rough. Yeah, they traded Trent McDuffie. I know they made that move. And that shocked a lot of people. But they benefited off of going out and getting their guy Mansour Delaney in the NFL draft. So obviously they reshaped there. And also the thing is, everybody's trying to, not everybody, let me not classify everybody in this, but a lot of people are trying to write off Patrick Mahomes and trying to say, well, the injury, you don't know what it looked like after the injury. And, he is getting a little older, but it's like, do we not remember what Tom Brady was doing? And I know everybody's not Tom Brady, but we were having conversations about Patrick Mahomes being the next Tom Brady or following in that type of legacy. Like, we're going to be talking about him as one of the next greats, if not the greatest of all time. That was where he was heading towards. And obviously the last few years kind of, he got his ass whooped in the Super Bowl by the Eagles. He had some things happen. But I every report that I'm seeing here, I just was checking, making sure, but everything I'm seeing is that he's targeting a full return for week 1 of the season. And I don't know if he'll make week 1. I don't know if the Chiefs will completely push him out there, but I would not be surprised to see him by week 4 or 5. I mean, maybe if the Chiefs can stay afloat, 1-2 even, 1-2, 2-1, whatever, the first 3 games, and he comes back week 4, the Chiefs are still winning that division. Let me be very clear. They'll win that division.
Well, it's weird. They've just been stacking up quarterbacks. They've got this really weird, mix of quarterbacks in there now. I don't know. I mean, I think that's weird, but it makes you feel like they feel some kind of way about what his physical, progress has been or will be by the time the season starts. But yeah, I mean, if he's back week 1, I mean, they're as dangerous as always, right?
I think they're protecting themselves just because they trotted out Chris Aladukin last year, and I mean Gardner Minshew at a point. I mean, they weren't prepared for something like this. So I think that's just something to cover in their own, and looking out in case it does happen again, So, but I think if Mahomes is back by week 4, week 5, the Chiefs are making the playoffs. They're probably winning the division, honestly. Yeah. And it's because, I mean, why would Travis Kelce go buy into another 3-year deal with the Kansas City Chiefs, go sign an extension when all the talks where he was probably hanging it up, he was done, retiring, and now he's there for another 3 years, at least contract wise. He's locked up for the next 3 years. And it's weird to me. And I know we got to go to break here. We're gonna, when we come back from break, we'll talk more about the NFL, some other teams, because this is I'm enjoying this discussion. Yeah, and I want to just be clear about the Chiefs though, real quick. One thing, Tyreek Hill's still out there, Chad. Yeah, he's signed with a team, and who does he have a lot of familiarity with, and who has put up with the Tyreek Hill shenanigans?
They play at Arrowhead,
yeah. I mean, thank you, pal. Thank you. I was a little quick to before the tease, but I'll tell you this: I think you could see a Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes reunion. Just what the doctor cooked up there in Kansas City, and I think they win the division because there's a lot of questions. The Raiders,
you gotta find a running game there. They need to find some kind of semblance of a running game, but
sure. But they also brought in Kenneth Walker, so they have Kenneth Walker. Yeah, they brought in Kenneth Walker, so we'll see. I mean, he did come off one of his better years, and the big question for him has been health. But if he can stay healthy, Chad, he might be the guy that they can finally count on. I get you. Yeah. I mean, that's been their
biggest. I forgot about that. Yeah, I forgot about that.
It was so under the radar. It was just so quick. It happened at the beginning of the offseason, pretty much. Right after, the Seahawks announced they weren't bringing him back, basically. And I think that could be a guy that they haven't had in terms of a running back. I think somebody that's better than Isaiah Pacheco. Yeah. Better than any of the Clyde Edwards-Helaire, any of these guys they brought in. We love Kareem Hunt, but better than Kareem Hunt. I think Kenneth Walker could be a problem. And if they bring in Tyreek Hill, okay, now we're looking at if Patrick Mahomes can just stay healthy, which he's done majority of his NFL career, the Chiefs are walking away with this division because the Raiders, you should be excited, but you'd also be realizing that you put building blocks in to put yourself in position for the next 2-3 years to get into that
long-term type of thing. Yeah,
exactly. Sure. And the Broncos, real quick, and I'm curious your thoughts, and then we'll have the break. But the Broncos, this is put up or shut up for Bo Nix. And I know they just went to the conference championship game, but he also was not in that conference championship game. He was hurt. He's coming off of an injury, an ankle injury. Yep. And the question is going to be, can he replicate that success? Because I rock with Bo Nix. I rock with him, but he wasn't very impressive in a lot of those games.
Good. They won games. He was good, and they won games, but I think they won a lot of games on the backs of their defense and some things like that. And a lot of sorry to interrupt you, but speaking of Bo Nix and that injury, a lot of people think that ankle might be a little bit worse than maybe the Broncos and Knicks are letting on. Some people think you might have a little bit of trouble just recovering and getting back from that ankle injury. So we'll see.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. So AFC West, they have some quarterbacks that are coming back from injury. They have a quarterback coming in from the NFL draft out of Indiana University, fresh off a national championship, and Fernando Mendoza going to Las Vegas. Yeah. And then you got the Chargers.
Yeah, and they're going to have a quarterback that's going to look really good for the first 10 weeks of the season and then somehow look average for the last few weeks. I don't understand that, but that seems to.
Do you think Mike McDaniel? My last question before we go to break. Do you think Mike McDaniel changes anything?
Yeah, sure.
There?
Yeah, he's going to help. Yeah, he's going to help out there. Yeah.
All right. I'm just curious. Just curious if you were rocking with khakis, Mike McDaniel. All right, perfect.
Khakis are going to help there. Yeah.
All right, tremendous. All right, well, hey, if you're wearing khakis at home, you would be with Eli Moon. I'm wearing khakis here. You can only see my top half. All right. With that being said, this is the Inside Edge Network. That's Chad Bryan. Am I right? You're right. I'm done with the games. We found out earlier this week Chad's been playing a mean April Fool's joke on me for months, and I've just had enough of it, to be honest with you. So that's where we're at.
Still won't break your heart, man.
It's all right, buddy. You know what? It's all good. Chad Bryan, am I right?
Home would figure out where I was. It didn't matter what you said. They weren't going to look at the wrong side and go, "Where is Chad?" They found me. They knew where I was. I'm loud enough. It's fine.
Well, I'll tell you this. That's Chad Bryan. Am I right? You're right. I got it right. I'm Eli Moon. I have like an endless supply of Golden Child shirts. If you want a Golden Child shirt, hit me up. You see my handle. Everything that goes supportive merch for myself or the Inside Edge Network. We have a fantastic merch store. It all goes back into funneling into community, helping out the Inside Edge Network, helping out the collective. I'm part of LaHale, and bridging it all together and just continue to build community. So everything helps bring you guys great content and more fun things to do in the community. So with that being said, we'll take a quick break. We're going to hear from a few of our great partners here at the Inside Edge Network. And when we come back, we're going to dive more into this NFL discussion. I didn't envision us going about 40 minutes on this, but
no, that's fun too. But we're not nearly done. So there's a lot to get into when we get back.
Sure is, pal. Sure is. This is Inside Edge Primetime here on the Inside Edge Network. That's Chad Bryan. I'm Eli Moon, and we are back right after this.
Coming up tonight on Midnight Run with myself, AA Anthony Alford, we will reaction with Cavaliers and Pistons. Can the Cavaliers get back into the series after now being down 2-0? Also, it is our first installment, since we're 5 nights a week, of Unpack Fridays. Is it very possible, seriously, is it possible that New England's going to have to look for a new head coach for the 2026 season? There are more details on Mike Vrabel and Diana Rossini on the Love Boat, also, a lot of changes with college athletics, including the expansion of the NCAA men's and women's tournament. Will that impact your enjoyment of March Madness? Also, changes coming on the college football front with the playoff. But are we overrating the excitement of the college football regular season? I think we are. We'll talk about that and so much more coming up tonight at midnight. 5 nights a week, Midnight Run with me, AA Anthony Alford, tonight at midnight on the Inside Edge Network.
Hey guys, Kyle here from Unfiltered. What a show today. A lot. We broke down, obviously, the $1.6 billion data center going to be possibly built in our downtown. Some people not happy about it. Space, power issues. If it's privately owned, who cares? I mean, it'd be pretty cool, right? Also, the Cavs, hey, they got a game this weekend. On Monday, we'll talk about, did they get the job done? Is it 2-1? Are they down 3-0? And that could be the season. Plus, all the local news, talk, sports you can imagine right here on Unfiltered. Back on Monday. We'll see you guys then. Clean energy, bold flavors, and no jitters. See why people won't shut up about Dubby. Clean energy, no jitters or crash. Whether you're starting your workday or getting ready to exercise, Dubby Energy helps you lock in and focus. With over 15 flavors to choose from, you can't miss. Order Dubby Energy right now by using the QR code on your screen and use the promo code InsideEdge10 to receive 10% off your order. Dubby Energy, your energy-focused sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader.
And welcome back to Inside Edge Primetime here on the Inside Edge Network. Chad Bryan to my right, which means he's on your right as well. I'm Eli Moon, and we're back here for another half hour or so here on Inside Edge Primetime. Friendly reminder, Midnight Run with Anthony Alford coming up at midnight to 1 a.m. His Unhinged and first Friday of Unhinged behavior, and he'll be with you rock until 1 in the morning. So make sure you stay tuned in here. Of course, like, subscribe, follow all the great stuff Inside Edge Net. You want to go ahead and stay tuned in with everything we got going. We're Cleveland's digital leader and your source for sports, entertainment, mental health, news, everything in between. Stay locked in with us and check out the great website, InsideEdgeNetwork.com. Of course, we also want to address a comment came in from our bro, Ryan Mosser, part of the Voice of the Lamb, Kevin Arnold, here on the Inside Edge Network, and also part of the Commissioner's Couch with David Calhoun. Here on the Inside Edge Network. And I want to address this. We're going to pull up Ryan's comment from the first segment here. I'm pretty sure that Liam Cohn came out and said that was speculation. He's going to play wide receiver 2. There is an article that came out, it looks like yesterday morning, from Cohn, just mentioning, hey, we're expecting to play him. And I understand. Ryan, I get what you're saying. I know Liam Cohn's a head coach, and he's going to say all the right things because you didn't just draft this guy to not play him, right? That's the question.
James Gladstone, by the way, on the same page as well. Like, hey, no, he's going to play both ways. But yeah, I think like you said, I think we'll maybe see how long that lasts. We'll just see. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Because usually when there's smoke, there's fire. There's a lot of reports coming out. So I think the head coach Liam Cohn and yes, James Gladstone, I think is just CYA right now. They're covering their own ass just in case it doesn't look good, And I mean, so I respectfully disagree, Ryan Mosser. I think that Jacksonville will be playing him on one side of the ball if they want to get the best usage out of him. So we'll see. Well, we'll keep an eye on it. And if I eat my words, you know what? Then I guess I owe you a lunch sometime, pal.
I think they should see if he can pitch a little bit too. Why not?
Yeah. You know what? I love it. I love it. Let's dive back into it, Chad. We got a few more divisions to go over. If you just tuned in, hello, how are you doing? That's Chad Bryan. I'm Eli Moon. We're here with you till 11, and we have been breaking down how should your excitement be? How excited are you for your favorite NFL team's season? We're taking a trip around the NFL, just kind of getting ready as we embark through this offseason, get ready for football, which seems like it's starting to get right around the corner more and more we speak. So keep an eye on that. Chad, we last left off with the AFC West.
We did. And real quick, you were just going to say, it seems like it's because the NFL stays in the news cycle, right? There's all the offseason stuff. There's the league, new year, whatever. The draft. Soon after that, you have all the mini camp stuff, the voluntary stuff. And then you have the schedule release, which comes up next week, I believe, right? Well, we're probably going to cover that pretty extensively here. But yeah, I think this is a fun little just engagement piece. That's like, okay, well, before your team gets too far into it, if you're a fan, just a quick little write-up. See, this is how you should feel. We're going to start with the NFC East as we come back. It's kind of an average division, bunch of sixes, but the Giants are maybe the Giants. This is the year they finally turned the corner, right? You bring in John Harbaugh, so you've got a Super Bowl winning head coach, right? Not with the Giants, obviously, but he's been there. Quarterback's coming back, right? Jackson Dart's going to be there. You got hopefully Malik Neighbors is back to whatever he was physically. Cam Scatteraboo, right? You've got draft picks all over the place. The Giants there's some excitement. They've got the Giants sitting at a 9, like I said. A lot of potential for the Giants to be really, really good. And I think maybe I'm looking at the rest of this division, the Cowboys, the Eagles, the Commanders. Listen, if it all goes well and the Giants can stay healthy, I think they can win this division, Eli.
They sure could. But it's the NFC East as well, Chad. So anything could happen, really. The Cowboys are going to be the Cowboys. They're going to win football games. A matter of how many, we'll see. But they did add Caleb Downs. They were very aggressive in the draft. They got some really key pieces. So I'm curious to see how that helps out, relief on the defensive side of the football, where they struggled a tremendous amount last year. You look at Washington. The question there is, can Jaden Daniels return back to rookie season Jaden Daniels, which wasn't far away. It was literally 2 seasons ago. But can he return back to that form and get the Commanders back into the playoffs? They got a lot of questions at wide receiver and on that offensive side of the ball. Running back still, they got Bill Krosky Merritt, so we'll see if he steps up. But there's a lot of questions there. So then you look at, okay, now you got the Eagles, and the Eagles got a whole plethora of drama. And we'll see if they are looking for a new wide receiver one going into the season. And the fact that they went out and addressed Mekhi Lemon, got him in the draft, seems like A.J. Brown's probably out the door. So we'll kind of keep an eye on that. Saquon Barkley hasn't been the same the last couple of years. Yeah. Kind of keep an eye on all of that. So all that to get back to the Giants. Everything's going right for them right now. They've had pretty good drafts the last couple of years. They, this draft seems strong on paper. John Harbaugh, the biggest piece of all, the fact that you have a Super Bowl winning head coach, a Super Bowl champion head coach, guy who's done it before, and built, the Ravens were they weren't bad when he took them over, but they were kind of a little middling. They weren't what they were when he's now left them, last season aside. So I think John Harbaugh is going to be very key to their success. I think he's going to already instill, and probably already has instilled, that culture that he did with Baltimore. And I think that's big. You mentioned Scatteraboo, you mentioned Jackson Dart. If those guys can stay away from running helmet to helmet into guys and just running crazy and actually be a little bit smarter with how they're playing, then I think they are in for a very great season. Malik Neighbors, he's one of the best young receivers in the league. So it'll be interesting there. And then defensively, they got a lot of guys that are just dogs. You look, Abdul Carter last year alone from Penn State, they went out and got, this year they addressed, they have Arvell Reese that they went and got Arvell Reese, I believe. Yep. So they have Arvell Reese as well. They got in the draft. He was talked about as going number 2. David Bailey takes that 2 spot, but a steal for the Giants. All that to be said, I think the Giants do win this division. Yeah,
I think they're right now. They on paper, they look like they easily could be the strongest team. And I think I saw some comments when Harbaugh first went there. Like, oh, he doesn't understand what the media is going to do to him in New York. Listen, John Harbaugh is not a guy that's going to go to New York and fall apart because of the media. It's the Harbaugh family. It's a football family. They've been around some of the highest profile jobs, whether it's college or the NFL. They've won Super Bowls. John Harbaugh's won a Super Bowl. He's not going to go to New York and fall apart because of the media. That's not going to happen. And listen, they may not play well, but John Harbaugh is not going to get run out of town because he's scared of the media. That's all. That's my point.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah. Let's move on to the NFC North. I don't think there's a whole lot to break down really in that division left. NFC North's all over the place. The one that was interesting to me is the Lions at a 5, and it seems like everyone's kind of like, we're just exhausted with the Lions, right? They were so much goodwill 2 years ago. They were a team on the rise, and now I think people have just kind of like, I don't know, we sort of bottomed out on the Lions a little bit. It's like, well, they looked so bad at times last year. They didn't get it done. They didn't play very well. I think there's just like this Detroit Lions exhaustion now, right? We just don't expect them to really bounce back and be elite. And the Bears have made huge strides. I mean, if you're a Bears fan, you'll be happy to hear that your excitement level is a 9 coming into the season. I think that's crazy to think about where they were, 3 seasons ago. So I mean, yeah, the Bears were another team on the cusp of like maybe making a push for the Super Bowl. They looked really good and couldn't quite get it done in the playoffs last year, but it seems like they've made that next step and they could be ready to take another step forward, don't you think?
They sure could, yeah. And Ben Johnson, obviously another year of familiarity. Caleb Williams, a little continuity there with the head coach, the offense. I mean, yeah, it's gonna work out real well. They did move on from DJ Moore, so we'll keep an eye on how that plays out. I mean, I know he was not as great as when he first got there to Chicago the last year or so, but I think that could be interesting to watch. But I do think the Bears are in a good spot, Chad, to answer your question. Yeah. I think, you look at the Lions, they also moved off of David Montgomery. You look at that. You look at these moves that they've made, and you wonder how much time does Jared Goff have left, in terms of goodwill. We're talking about goodwill with the Lions. How much goodwill does he have left just not getting it done? Because it's kind of been the name of his career. I mean, he got to the Super Bowl with the Rams with Sean McVay, first couple seasons, and he didn't get it done. And since then, he's been trying to get back, and it just hasn't really worked out. And I'm not saying he's a bad quarterback. It's just a question of, can he get you to the next level? And the Lions are stuck in kind of no man's land because they're going to play well enough this season, I think, to not be able to draft a top quarterback. So it's like, what do you do if you fall short again? So I think that's a question. You also look at some of these other teams in the North, the other 2 teams, the Packers, bringing in Jeff Hafley, excuse me, not Jeff Hafley, but you look at the Packers, Jeff Hafley going over to Miami, Jeff Hafley going over to Miami, losing Jeff Hafley, losing these guys. You look at that, they also lost their insurance with Malik Willis. And I understand he plays back up to Jordan Love, or now he's a starter for Miami, but that was a big deal. And he did save them a lot back end of that season. So I think the Packers are going to have a little bit of a setback.
Well, they're 6. I mean, that's about right. I mean, that falls in the line to about, as far as the excitement level. I mean, I think that's about right.
Yeah.
The one that confused me is the Vikings at a 7. And I got to wonder if Brad Gagnon, I got to wonder if he's a Vikings fan, because the write-up was funny. It says the addition of Kyler Murray into potential quarterback battle with J.J. McCarthy spices things up for a team that has the core talent to make waves. I think they're talented enough to wave bye-bye the rest of the division as they move past them. And I think the Vikings finished last in this division, to be honest with you. But, hey, whatever, that's me.
I know we got a few more divisions to get over, and we're running up against it. The spices that they're using for that quarterback battle are salt and pepper.
Yeah, that division is boiled chicken. Let's just move on to the AFC North. I think we can just come back to that. We don't have to get into any of that. Like you said, we're up against it a little bit. The AFC North overall, Eli, was just sort of meh. Okay. 3, you got the Ravens are a 7 because the Ravens are always going to be decent, right? You've got Lamar. That's fun to watch. So that's going to be fun. They've got whatever new coaching stats. Something's going to happen there. But the rest of the division, 5s. The Bengals, Browns, Steelers, all 5s. So just right in the middle. Sort of non-committal, just sort of like, I mean, just kind of like when you watch this division play, you're like, it's about a 5. So that makes sense to me.
Yeah. I mean, this division, man, I'm just going to overarch this division real quick. An overarching take is like, who wants to win? Because, I mean, you got Cincinnati, but, are they going to finally give some defensive love, like actual defensive love to Joe Burrow? Does he have to score 30 points to win a football game?
Well,
is he going to stay healthy?
The run now. They'll be better against the run, but I still don't know about the defensive backfield. They don't have much on the back end to really write home about. So
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, if they can get to the quarterback a lot, which they don't have an edge rusher anymore.
Well, if they would have paid him.
If they would have paid him, they could have had one. Yeah, they could have had one. So I don't know.
You look at the Bengals, pal. You look at the Ravens, it makes sense for us. I mean, Jesse Minter, I think, is going to have some success, as much as it pains me to say that. As a Browns fan, I think he's going to have some success and still that defense that was pitiful last year for the Baltimore Ravens. Very uncommon, not like them. So I think that'll be interesting, bringing that in. And it's – Chad, I think they're coming for me, pal.
Yeah, it's time, man. We better wrap it up.
All right. No, I think we're in the clear. All right. But, Lamar Jackson, obviously, you see what they're going to be able to do. Derrick Henry's got a little more tread on the tires. So, this is like a very important year for them and for Cincinnati. So, I mean, you can have a little bit of excitement for those teams, but Pittsburgh, the big talk is Aaron Rodgers is going to possibly come back, join up with Mike McCarthy.
I'm so bored with that. I don't know. I feel like if I were a Steelers fan, can we move on? That game
move on to what?
I don't know. Will Howard, I guess maybe. I don't know. I don't know what's there. I mean, I know what's there. I know the guys that, you've got three players. Right. You got three guys there, Drew Aller, Will Howard, and whatever, Mason Rudolph. It's not exciting, but at least it's, I don't know. Maybe I'm just, I just sort of like, I have this Aaron Rodgers fatigue going on. And it's the Willie, won't he? Is he going to play? Probably would have told him by now. You would hope if he wasn't going to, so they could do something. I don't know. I'm just sort of bored with the Aaron Rodgers story. I don't know why. It just doesn't interest me, I guess.
I feel it. I do think he makes them a better team. And I think him coming in there, I think him with McCarthy, I mean, we'll see. And then what was the Browns ranking again? What was it?
A 5. Yeah.
I mean that.
Okay.
I guess it depends who you ask in Cleveland right now. It's there's a
I'm
lot
more excited
of
to watch the Browns than I would be to watch the Vikings, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
it just depends. The Vikings, I think you're underplaying the Vikings a little bit, pal. They caught fire at the end of the year, and they weren't that far off from making the playoffs if they would have just had a better start to the season. A lot of it was due to quarterback play. So I think, despite the report from Bleacher Report and our friend Mr. Gagnon,
I don't know. I'm not trying to be rude. I just don't know.
No, we just Kyler Murray, I think if he was a starting quarterback, as much as he gets a lot of crap from a lot of people, I think he would improve that team drastically. Is he
going to prepare the right way? Is he going to come in and do the things that you're supposed to do as a starting quarterback if he wins that job? Like, we know about
he's not getting paid.
Not, whatever. It's
not to interrupt you. My apology, but I guess to answer that, he's not getting paid like he was in Arizona, right? Like, it's not the craziest of deals. Like last time I checked, let me verify that. But I didn't think it was that much of a. I mean, for what he would have expected going into a contract year, 1 year, $1.3 million contract, Chad. So, I mean, this is a very important year for him. If he don't play well, I mean, he might have to go play baseball. I mean, so you look at that. I would say,
I don't know if that's a huge punishment, but
yeah,
I think that's what I would have done from the beginning if I were him. To be honest with you, I mean, he was. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's maybe what I would have done. Do the A's still own his rights? Is that how that works?
Yeah, I believe if he were to play baseball, he would. I believe he would go to the A's.
Okay.
So we'll see, and who knows where the A's are going to play? I mean, who knows what's going on? All right. Well, with that being said, I will say this about the Browns one more time: that I think 5's accurate. Mm-hmm. If they want fans to get excited, then figure this shit out.
Yeah.
Figure it out. Figure out who's going to play quarterback. Stop saying this and that and this and that, and actually build. And I mean, I think they have done a good job with the last couple of drafts, one showing and then one on paper. We'll see how it looks on the field. But, I think it all falls back on the quarterback. I think we're just tired of it in Cleveland. We had an opportunity with Baker Mayfield, and say what you may about Baker Mayfield, but the one thing is he won a playoff game here. He rejuvenated the franchise, and then we kind of just traded him off like he was garbage. Like, and I know there's a lot of other stuff, we're giving the abbreviated version, but like, that's essentially what happened. We traded him for a guy that has no business being a franchise quarterback, a leader of men, a leader of locker room. And so that's where we're at. I can imagine why the 5. I'm actually shocked it's not lower because we're sitting here. If you heard our show yesterday, you tuned in, then you heard how we felt about the quarterback room. And I think that's where a lot of Cleveland's at, Chad.
Yeah, I think nobody knows what to expect. Just real quick to sum that article up, there were a few highs. The Cardinals are a 1. The Cardinals are low, but there were a few 9s. We talked about the Giants. The Raiders, the Broncos, I believe the Patriots were a 9. I mean, they just, obviously the Patriots had a great season. They've got some, the Jaguars are a 9 as well. The Patriots have some off the field stuff that they're dealing with, but that's neither here nor there. I don't think if you're a fan, you really, that doesn't, well, I mean, I guess if Mike Vrabel were to end up having to step aside, then that probably cuts into the excitement factor a little bit, but whatever. Like I said, we can unpack that another day.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll say this to end the segment. You're telling me you're not excited to see Jacoby Brissett play quarterback for the Arizona Cardinals?
Listen, if Jacoby Brissett, whatever his name, I just said Brissett. If Jacoby Brissett can take the Cardinals to like a 12-5 record and like compete in that division and go to the playoffs, then I will be very excited. You never know. He played really well there last year.
That's what I'm saying.
Great season, yeah.
In the big
one, I'm a little surprised.
And Chad, you see, I'm starting to get more excited than that one they gave the Cardinals because they have something they didn't have last year in a running back.
Yeah,
I mean, they had tremendous problems with the running backs keeping on to the football, and Jonathan Gannon wasn't very nice, and that's why Jonathan Gannon's not there anymore. You look at those types of
consistency out of the quarterback position. Maybe Marvin Harrison Jr. turns it around, and then you've got something to be excited about. So yeah, maybe more. It should have been probably a little more than a 1 there.
Yeah, Jeremiah Love, Marvin Harrison Jr. If these guys can turn it around, and Jacoby Brissett wants to be paid, so we'll see what goes on there.
See what happens.
All right, I'm going to give a programming announcement right now that with 9 minutes to 11, Chad and I are probably going to go a few minutes over, so make sure you stay with us here. We'll be a little bit after 11 o'clock. We appreciate you tuning in. Hope you're enjoying so far. If you are, of course, give us a like, subscribe, follow, all that great jazz at Inside Edge Net on all the socials. Check it out there so you can stay tapped in, not only with us here on Inside Edge Primetime, but you heard during the break, Kyle Cornell from Unfiltered, 5 to 6 p.m. Unfiltered with Kyle Cornell here in the Inside Edge Network, talking news, all the current events, some sports, but just very, very knowledgeable information and some strong takes from Kyle. So make sure you say weekdays there, here, Inside Edge Net with Kyle. And then, of course, Primetime, Inside Edge Primetime, Chad and I, weeknights, 10 to 11 p.m., and sometimes a little after like tonight. And then, of course, AA Anthony Alford. Midnight Run with Anthony Alford, 12 a.m. to 1 a.m. weeknights. To AA says Tuesday through Saturday. Don't get fooled. It's Monday through Friday, 12 a.m. to 1 a.m. So it'll be exciting. And it's his first Friday. He's unhinged usually. The last few nights, he's got more unhinged than I've seen on this show so far. His show, that being Midnight Run. Yeah. And so I hear the coffee.
Our show a little bit got unhinged. That was fun. He jumped in on the post game. That was fun. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, sure was. So we'll see. I'm sure the coffee's brewing somewhere for AA. I'm sure the bat signal's out there somewhere, and we'll hear from him at midnight. So make sure you stay tuned in there. And of course, as always, check out the great website, InsideEdgeNetwork.com, where you can go check out the partners page. The QR code takes you right there to the partners page of the website. All our great sponsors. Again, Fanatic. Yeah. No, up there. Oh,
the website's over there.
Website's there.
But you got to go there to go there. So
all right, listen, it's not this or this. Okay, so of course, Fanatics.com, AliRoseFragrances.com, W Energy, Monster Moments, and SportsMemorabilia.com are great partners. We appreciate you, and we appreciate you out there for watching and supporting us, choosing us as Cleveland's digital leader, and your source for sports, entertainment, mental health conversations, news, and so much more, everything in between. And with that being said, we're going to take another pause here. When we come back, we're going to put a bow on this thing. I think it's time for some final thoughts, Chad. It's time for some final thoughts, and we're going to get out of here. So, of course, that's Chad Bryan to my right. You're right. Everybody's right. He's over to the right. The right. I'm Eli Moon.
To the right.
Hey, we're going to start dancing in the
no, we're not.
You do the same. I'm Eli Moon. That's Chad Bryan. This is Inside Edge Primetime here in the Inside Edge Network. Back after this.
Find us on InsideEdgeNetwork.com for the latest information on your favorite shows, personalities, and network partners. Plus, guess what? We have a merch shop. That's right, we have network polos, t-shirts, champion jackets, hats, and bottles. Rep the network. Every purchase supports independent sports and entertainment media. Use the QR code on your screen right now to check out InsideEdgeNetwork.com. That's InsideEdgeNetwork.com. Mosser Moments Photography is a husband and wife wedding photography team based in Cleveland, owned and operated by Inside Edge Network's very own Ryan Mosser and his wife Hallie. For the past 10 years, they've captured more than 100 weddings across Northeast Ohio and beyond, always working together as a true two-person team. Their style centers on authentic, emotional storytelling, documenting the real moments between two people in love and creating images that feel natural, comfortable, and true to the couple. Rooted in Northern Ohio but inspired by their travels, Ryan and Hallie bring a warm, personal approach to every wedding day. Their work blends experience, consistency, and a genuine passion for helping couples relive their best day through timeless photography. Learn more at MosserMomentsPhotography.com by using the QR code on your screen right now. MosserMomentsPhotography.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Discover our collection of handcrafted candles. That's right, every product is thoughtfully created in small batches free from harmful toxins for mindful everyday indulgence. Our candles are hand-poured in coconut soy wax with natural wood wicks, offering a long-lasting burn and rich fragrances. Create a cozy, safe ambiance for your home with candles from Alley Rose Fragrances. First-time customers use the promo code InsideEdge20 to receive 20% off your order. AlleyRoseFragrances.com, proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Podcast Network.
Papa Moon, I hear it's your birthday. You're turning 29, which doesn't really explain. Eli is 20. Look, we're not here to do math. We're here to celebrate your birthday. So, Papa Moon, I hope you have a great day. Happy birthday.
And welcome back to Inside Edge Primetime here on the Inside Edge Network. Chad Bryan is over to my right, which again, ladies and gentlemen, is over to your right. And I'm Eli Moon, and we're back here for a final segment. We're doing a little bit of overtime. Who doesn't love overtime? We're
gonna get paid for it though.
Yeah. With that being said, make sure you go like, subscribe, follow at Inside Edge Net on all the socials. Keep supporting us as Cleveland's digital leader, and keep rocking with us, the Inside Edge Network, Inside Edge Net, and of course, InsideEdgeNetwork.com, the great website. You can check out the partners page. QR code takes you there immediately, right above Chad.
There it is.
And I am trying to fix my hat. You can also go to the merch shop, get a hat just like this.
Yeah.
But it'll say Inside Edge Network right here on the front. Boom.
You won't need to fix that hat. It'll be brand new. You won't have to. Yeah, you won't have to worry about it.
Yeah, you won't ever have to fix that hat. Well,
Ever. Not ever.
Yeah, great Inside Edge Network. Yes, great Inside Edge Network gear, hats, mugs, shirts, polos, all that great stuff. I think we even have jackets right now. We have like the jackets. I mean, it's so cool, man. It's so cool. So check out all the great stuff. And if you want to read about your personalities, your favorite personalities here on the Inside Edge Network, you can do that as well. All on the InsideEdgeNetwork.com. InsideEdgeNetwork.com. All right. Chad, usually we have some very thought-provoking final thoughts where we get in, we tear a team up, or we go in, or we talk about some serious stuff, whatever. There's a lot of final thoughts.
Yeah.
And I talked to you earlier today, and I said, what do you want to do for final thoughts? Because sometimes we plan it, sometimes we don't. Sometimes I throw you, I just throw you for a loop. Yeah. That's part of doing a show with me. Thank you for putting up with me. And you said, I want to set this one now. And you still sent a tremendous video. Thank you. First off, I want to thank you on air for the kind words to my pops, Papa Moon. If for those tuning in, Papa Moon, who has a show here on the Inside Edge Network on Saturdays, Real Talk with Papa Moon, where he focuses on mental health conversations, sharing the story of the community. Some people that aren't heard are sharing, get this platform to share every day, or don't necessarily always feel vulnerable enough to do so. They come literally into our studio and they share their stories with my pops. It's a blessing. Real Talk with Papa Moon, Saturdays at 5 p.m. To get into this, my final thoughts, and I think I'd be okay saying the final thoughts here of Inside Edge Primetime tonight. It's going to be about Papa Moon.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to try to get through this without shedding a tear. I got the Kleenex somewhere here. I got the tissues. I'm ready. So Real Talk with Papa Moon, Saturdays 5 p.m. here on the Inside Edge Network. We started that when the network created. My dad has never been in the creative field. Now, I'm not saying he hasn't been creative, but he's been never in side by side with me in terms of like doing it. I produced the show, and it's been so cool to see his growth as a creative mind. And he jokes all the time. He loves me as his son, but he can't stand producer Eli, and that's okay with me. It's a blessing that we get to do this together on the same network in front of all of you out there. It's to the point where Chad and Papa Moon are having conversations during our pre-show, and they argue about the Guardians and the Braves. And Papa Moon's close with a lot of the people on the network. I will say that. Double A Anthony Alford, the program director, pull the curtain back here just a second. He made a call to me to bring the main event back here to the Inside Edge Network, to bring it here to the Inside Edge Network, bring it back. Mm-hmm. And then we had a conversation about Papa Moon a few days later and said, hey, is your pop still trying to start that podcast? We talked about it. The idea's there. It's such a strong idea. Where does he want to put it? Right? Like where is he going to put this? Does he want to come join the Inside Edge Network and create something special? And I talked to my pops, and in Papa Moon fashion, he just goes, absolutely, I'm in. When do we start? And here we are. We're started, and we're going. He's approaching 30 episodes of Real Talk with Papa Moon, which in itself is incredible. And I wish I had all the right words to say about my dad, because he's a leader in this community, not only in mental health but in everything. I'm his oldest son, one of three, and I've been blessed to have him as one of my best friends, him and my mom, like in my entire life. And we've talked about sports together. We've talked about music together. We've talked about anything. We've laughed about nothing. Nobody has said anything in the room, and we have just laughed for hours. We actually, during the little bit of time I have in between Unfiltered, where I'm producing the show with Kyle Cornell, who does a fantastic job, and then Primetime here with my guy Chad, I had a little bit of a break. So we were able to go over to the restaurant my sister actually is working at, and I'm proud of her too. She welcomed us out. We had dinner, a great Italian dinner. Chad, you'd be proud of me. I almost called you Dad. Not talking about you. But we had a great Italian dinner, Chad. And I know you'd be proud of me. Papa Moon was having a great time. And my dad was thrilled today with all the overwhelming love and awesome. Just everything. And I guess I'll leave our final thoughts with this, Chad. I wrote a post on Facebook today for my dad, just talking about a little bit what he means to me and the community. Mm-hmm. So I think that's going to be our final thoughts, and then we'll put a bow on it. If you have anything else to say after that, and then we'll put a bow on this. So
I'm all good, man. You take it.
All right, folks. I'm going to read, just full transparency. I'm about to read from a post. So if I'm looking down at times, it's because I'm reading. But here we go. I'm just going to read it how I had it. Happy birthday, Pops. All right. I'll try not to cry, because then you'll start crying, because you're my dad after all. Thank you, Dad. Thank you for being such a great father to me, Maddie, and Austin, and the best papa ever to your grandbabies, Max and Arrow. Thank you for being an outstanding role model for us in the community. Thank you for being you and always having my back. It means a lot to believe in what we're building, and it's awesome having you right by my side. You're a busy guy, so you figured why not start a podcast to help the voiceless share their voice. This platform of Real Talk with Papa Moon has been so impactful, and damn, I'm so proud of you, as well as everybody else here on the Inside Edge Network and everybody watching. Thanks for dealing with my producer side and being a sponge for knowledge. That's always been something I've noticed. Thank you for helping bring the positivity back into this world. And honestly, Dad, Papa Moon, thanks for making me smile and laugh when I need it. These dad jokes that you've taught me have created some funny moments. And so for that, thank you again. In a world where it's more common to be the tough guy, you're vulnerable and lead the charge on mental health awareness. You are one of my best friends in life, and I don't know what I'd do without you. I love you with all my heart, and just know we got this. That mansion and everything you've ever wanted is on the way, and I promise you that. So again, happy 59th birthday to my dad, Papa Moon. The world loves you more than you know, and remember, as he always says at the end of every Real Talk with Papa Moon episode, stay real, stay kind, and remember, every voice matters, including yours, Pops. I love you. The Inside Edge Network loves you. Happy 59th birthday to a community creator, a legend, and somebody I am proud to call my dad. And everybody in the world calls Papa Moon. So happy birthday, Dad.
Happy birthday, Papa Moon.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, with that being said, I think I'm going to go try to wipe my eyes for a moment.
It was very well written and very well said, man. You couldn't have said it better, honestly.
I appreciate it, pal. And with that, Chad, do you have any other thoughts here tonight?
Can't top that. Gonna just we'll just take the weekend and I'll come back with some final thoughts. Maybe on Monday. Sometimes I don't think of them until you say, "Hey, it's time for final thoughts," and I go, "That's okay though. That's all right."
All right. Well, hey, that's my bro, Chad Bryan, who at this point is family to me. And I appreciate everything the kind words he had for Papa Moon.
Yeah.
Thank you to everybody out there for the kind words to Papa Moon. It means the world to him. We've had to buy a ton of more like paper towels and Kleenex and everything because the guy's running through it all day just with all the kind words. It's been a great day, been a great week here with all of you. This is our first run of weekly, daily shows here on the Inside Edge Network. On Filter with Kyle Cornell, 5 to 6 p.m. Weekdays, 5 to 6. Inside Edge Primetime with Chad and I here 10 to 11 p.m. And then, of course, Midnight Run with Anthony Alford, 12 a.m. to 1 a.m. All weekdays and weeknights here on the Inside Edge Network. We have great weekly shows. I mentioned Real Talk with Papa Moon, Saturdays at 5 p.m. We have Jersey Chasers with Autumn and Christy. They are on at Wednesdays at 7:30. You have Voice of the Land with Ryan Moster and Kevin Arnold. Some great stuff. You have Commissioner's Couch with Ryan Moster and David Calhoun. You have the main event, Rob, Double A, and myself. Just doing great stuff there. The entire Inside Edge Network is working, and we are doing that to bring it to you as Cleveland's digital leader, your source of sports, entertainment, mental health conversations, news, and everything in between. And like Papa Moon always says, we love you, we appreciate you, and just remember, every voice matters. Stay real, stay kind, and every voice matters. Love you guys, and we'll see you on Monday. Midnight Run after this.
Have a good weekend.